Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rotoworld Football Show, Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. Thanksgiving is only 9 days away. Absolutely unbelievable. Thankfully, Cowboys-Raiders is one day in the past. Yet another absolutely atrocious game featuring the Las Vegas Raiders. Good game for the Dallas Cowboys offense. George Pickens, better, quote unquote, Denny?
Some are asking.
Maybe better than CeeDee Lamb. We'll get into that one. I'll ask Denny about Javonte Williams fading in fantasy. The questions everyone else is afraid to ask. I'll ask. The running back has been really good all year. Been slightly less good lately. No longer good. Denny. Ashton Jeanty, RB1 hopes dashed. Brock Bowers hopes dashed. Tyler Lockett, Trey Tucker hopes dashed. We'll dive in to all of that. Then we'll talk about Josh Jacobs' knee injury. Every Falcon being hurt. The Jets doing the only thing they could do and benching Justin Fields. Talk about the Shedeur Sanders. Some may say, how could it be an assance? I've never had a golden age to begin with. I say, that's fair. You just totally undercut my prompt completely. But we're talking about Shedeur. Talk about Jamar Chase. His hunt for the second spitter is not going well. But he's trying to find the second spitter and get unsuspended for Week 12. And we will preview an amazing Thursday night game on Bezos Vision. Davis Mills. Third straight game. Houston Texans facing the Buffalo Bills, who threw 3 picks. But first, Dan, we couldn't decide what we want to talk about off the jump. You were fascinated by Aaron Rodgers being hurt and yet also not hurt. His opinion on his wrist. I think he's setting it up so he can play. But then if he's bad, like, listen, I'm hurt.
Yeah, what do you want from me?
Yeah, I'm hurt. What are you talking about? I don't know.
I mean, we were talking before the show, and mostly I sort of resent how complicated things are when this guy gets hurt, right?
Or just when this guy does anything. Like, let's be real.
Right. Anything.
I mean, even right down to the point, listen, athletes do not owe us details about their private life, but right down to him saying he has a wife, and then it's like never following up on that. Like, he makes everything so complicated.
His teammates are also wondering where his wife is.
That's neither here nor there, though.
Yeah,
the wrist.
Look, I knew it. Like, as soon as he hurt his wrist on Sunday, I was like, oh no. I was like, we're gonna have 5 to 7 days of this like weird back and forth where he's gonna be like, no, I'm fine. It's shattered, but I'm fine. And Meg Tomlin's gonna be like, he might be okay. We don't know. And the team's going to say, well, we need to give him the green light, but we're not sure we can do that. But it's his non-throwing wrist, right? If his throwing wrist, this be over, right? He'd be out. But it's non-throwing, right? So now the team has to like go along with what Aaron Rodgers is saying about like, I'm actually okay. It's just like when he ruptured his Achilles at 40 years old, 39, whatever he was. And he comes out and says, I'm fine. I'll be back in 6 weeks.
He said he was healthier than before.
Yeah.
He ruptured the Achilles.
Good. Hey, that's what he said. Yeah. So it's just, I wish this was just simple. I broke my wrist. I'm out this week.
No, things will never be simple. Mike Tomlin saying, great. New Antonio Brown, new Le'Veon Bell just dropped. I know there's some other guys I know that created headaches in that.
Martavis Bryant.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Boy, did a new Martavis Bryant just drop. But by the way, new Raiders Payne just dropped. We're going to get into this Raiders Cowboys game now, but Pete Carroll, I always remind people he's one of the greatest coaches in the history of American sports, of football in general. He's won a Super Bowl, won a national title, created powerhouses in Seattle and at USC. It's going a little more poorly than I expected it to go well. I kind of assumed to be another 9-8 Geno season. But listen, I think we can declare a coaching tenure over when they attempt an onside punt. The Raiders.
And they didn't know the rules. They didn't know the rules about it. They could have caught it.
Yeah, boy.
So they could have caught it because George Pickens, George Pickens ain't reading all that. Like he doesn't know. So he calls for a fair catch, I guess, and then starts like running around. And then but the Raiders could have gotten under the ball and simply caught it. It would have been their ball. But the Raiders didn't know the rules, and the Cowboys didn't know the rules, so it went out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm not even kidding. I think even Troy Aikman said he didn't know that an onside punt existed.
Well, but it's their job to know.
I know, but I mean, really, an onside punt. And the analogy I made on Twitter or on social media, as it's called, is that like it's like someone who's been stranded at sea. They have one piece of bait left. Like, we got to catch a giant tuna with this piece of bait. Either we do that, or we die out here. And they're getting ready to cast. And as they're casting, a seagull eats the piece of bait. Like, well,
Come on.
that plan's gone. That
Yeah.
plan's up in smoke. And by the way, yeah, if there's a seagull, it means they're probably close to land. But he was on an island and they're trying to leave. Okay, so don't try to undercut the analogy.
Yeah, your story is full of holes, I will say.
But so is Pete's. So is ours. When CeeDee Lamb came back, the days of George Pickens being the Cowboys' number one wide receiver were over. The days of him being a wide receiver one in fantasy were probably over. That has not been the case. CD has been back for 4 games a month now, Denny.
Yeah.
And George Pickens has outproduced him. Not by a ton, but he has outproduced him. He's spiked a week. That was last night. Just looking like 2 wide receiver ones for fantasy purposes in Dallas and maybe 2 wide receiver ones for real life purposes. Like, is that the case? Is George Pickens ahead of CeeDee Lamb right now in terms of the rankings? How do you break down this Raiders wide receiver core?
I've seen pitch and catch sort of situations before, but I don't know if I've ever seen such a drastic pitch and catch situation as Dak Prescott and George Pickens last night against the Raiders, where it was just like, hey, George, turn around. Like, I'm going to throw the ball to you. There's no one within 5 yards of you on any side, on your right, your left, in front of you or behind you. You're that wide open. Let's just go with this. So, I mean, the Raiders secondary is brutal. Obviously, that's why
the Raiders secondary, their offensive line, their passing attack, their rushing attack, their defensive line. Like Max Crosby looks like he would rather be playing for any other NFL team. At this point.
Did you know that Pete Carroll's son happens to be the offensive line coach?
I did. Boy, Pete Carroll looks like a debonair. How do you say that word, guy?
Debonair, yeah.
Brennan Colt, not as much.
No,
or Brennan Carroll.
Carroll, yeah.
He's got heavy Steve Belichick energy, I'll say.
Yeah. So, okay, back to Lamb and Pickens. Over the past 4 games together, they have basically the same air yard share. They have basically the same target share, the same targets per route run, 26% over that stretch. Lamb has a slight lead in first read targets over Pickens, but Pickens has been a little more efficient. I mean, what we have is just 2 guys who have the exact same usage. And so both of them, I think, are wide receiver ones. And maybe like the league winning or like weak flipping upside of CeeDee Lamb is trimmed off a little bit because of this Pickens stuff. But, you're happy with both.
You're happy with both. Well, they'll be tested severely. They're playing the Philadelphia Eagles this week. Always a good defense, usually a good pass defense, much better defense since the trade deadline. Jalen Phillips seems to have changed the tenor of that Eagles D. So It's been back-to-back weeks. Hold on. The Cowboys lost. I forgot that they lost the Cardinals, but they played the Raiders and the Cardinals. Like, basically didn't have defenses on the field. The Eagles will very much have a defense on the field.
And a defense is playing great, yeah.
And there's 4 teams on bye, though. I did my initial sweep of the rankings Tuesday morning. I have Pickens and CD both in the top 12. We'll see if that can hold as I dig deeper as the week goes on. But, man, do we feel good. George Pickens, man, he's going to be like one of the more fascinating. I guess he could get franchise tagged, but if not, he's going to be one of the more fascinating free agent cases in a while because so good. His amazing game he had last night. He was, along with CeeDee Lamb, suspended for the game's opening series. So, George Pickens, there's always more than one thing going on. But, man, is he going to be...
Oh, my God, Pat. Both of my guys, George Pickens and Jameson Williams, did their thing this week and scored a touchdown and immediately got flagged for the stupid celebration of all time. Both of them did the same thing. They ran up to the goalpost. The league has been explicit in saying you can't involve the goalpost in your celebration. They both slammed into the goalpost at 100 miles an hour and were immediately flagged. Can these guys, either of these guys, Pickens or JMO, score a touchdown without hurting their own team? It remains a question.
Or maybe hurting a certain area of their body. Listen, guys, you can't H-word the goalpost, all right? You can't do that. Doesn't fly.
Right, not even once.
Yeah, no.
3 times. You can't even do it once.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I would maybe get any other celebration than that, I will say. Will I get any other RB1 than Javonte Williams, Denny? It was fun for a while. It's not exactly like sad right now, but the efficiency's gone down a bit. He's not catching passes. The carry counts, the workload is still fine. Javonte Williams still kind of pushing for pseudo low-end RB1 value, or is he kind of just more of like just a guy, quote unquote, that we are expecting heading into the year.
Yeah, I mean, his efficiency numbers are not special. They're also not as drastically horrible as they were last year or the year before. So he has improved a little bit. Over the past 3 games, he's only running 56% of the routes in this Dallas offense. It's not that much. Hey, he's only been targeted. Listen to this. Over the past 3 games, only targeted on 6% of his routes. Like, that's crazy. He has exactly 1 reception in 5 of his past 6 games. So what you're saying that by saying that, he's not involved in the pass game is that he's going to be game script dependent, and he's going to be more touchdown reliant than you want, because, the Pickens and Lamb thing, going back to that, they are just eating up so many air yards on targets that, it's going to be hard for anyone to get there without touchdowns, including your guy, Jake Fergalicious Ferguson.
For Fergalicious definition.
Yeah. So Fergalicious down bad, and Javonte down pretty bad as far as pass catching goes. It's not a great situation, but you're still playing them.
I can't remember if this is an industry-wide standard or not, Denny, or who taught me this or whatever, but at some point real early in my career, I decided, I think some point this was agreed upon. For a running back, a good yards per catch is 8.0. You want to be at or above 8.0. A receiver, you really want to be like 12 or 13. A running back, if they get to 8, that's kind of when it's worth targeting them. Javonte Williams' yards per catch on 26 catches, Denny, is 3.6.
That's not a lot.
He's averaging fewer yards per catch than yards per carry, which you almost never ever see, especially on that kind of sample size. Almost astounding, almost impossible.
That's remarkable. Yeah,
I mean, saying it's not. It is remarkable. It's breathtaking. It's
truly. You want to cry when you see it.
You do want to cry, and game script dependent. Not a great thing to maybe be against the Eagles defense.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things go for Javonte. We're seeing how things are going for Ashton Jeanty, and poorly, very poorly. Is this his fault? Is this Brennan Carroll's fault? Is it Pete Carroll's fault? I mean, you're facing the Dallas Cowboys defense. I don't know. You draft a first-round running back. How do they carry the ball 6 times?
All right.
This is just an absolute fiasco. Go off, King.
Listen, your boy Troy last night is because his whole goal in life is to relive the 1992 season, right?
Come on, man.
And
he didn't just do that, literally just do that in an 8-hour Netflix documentary. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun, but Lord, we are, as a nation, we're trapped in 1992 because of the Cowboys. So you can't run the ball when you're down by 100. And that's what happened. So they get down by multiple scores last night, and Aikman is saying, "Why aren't you running the ball? You can't run the ball at that point." And
point, maybe you can, because the alternative is Geno Smith.
Raiders have the 8th fewest offensive snaps in neutral game script this season. Okay, neutral game script means you're either down by 7 or you're up by 7, roughly. I mean, that's the definition I use, right? And then they have the 6th fewest snaps with a lead. Okay, so Jeanty's averaging 15 carries a game, which is, I guess, not terrible. Only 12 in losses. And then as far as the pass catching goes, only 3.7 targets per game. He's being targeted on 21% of his routes, which is actually pretty good for running back. And then you talked about Javonte Williams' efficiency or lack thereof on targets or on receptions. Jeanty's actually been pretty good. 8.7 yards after the catch per reception. That's the 16th highest among running backs. So he can be good, I think. But this is such a horrible environment for any running back, including, a top tier guy like him.
And then I don't know. Ashton Jeanty should be the kind of thing that's difficult to screw up. Whatever. Say what you will about our offense. We can at least always hand the ball off to Ashton Jeanty, but just everything about this Raiders. I think the only word you can really use is ossified. I expected better of Chip Kelly, to be honest.
Me too.
Chip Kelly ran out of ideas pretty quickly in the NFL. I thought he seemed rejuvenated at Ohio State, being back in college, being back with a dynamic program, winning a national title, calling the plays for that national title run. I thought he just gotten something back, and no.
No, there's nothing there. No,
not at all. And running back Geno and Pete,
man.
Everyone knows I defended Pete Carroll forever in Seattle. But I mean, I was one of many to first guess, like, not really sure about a Pete Carroll, Geno Smith reunion. And it's gone so much more poorly than I could have ever expected. But my goodness, Denny.
The band got back together and made the worst album ever.
They did. Yeah, like the you don't understand. All 4 living members are bad. Like, there's literally no way it could be. Oh my God.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah. Not fake good, like the Steely Dan one that won album of the year. That wasn't good at all.
What was that, like 2003 or 6?
Two Against Nature. Yeah, like 2003. It was a humongous controversy. It won album of the year over like 4 really good albums.
Really?
Yeah. Grammys, not that the Grammys matter. Not to imply the Grammys matter.
Okay, well, no, obviously, but so the whole idea of the Raiders season was, let's reunite Pete Carroll with Geno Smith, and we're gonna wreck this league for 8 wins.
I know. That really was the upside. The absolute pinnacle was 9-8, number 7 seed, lose to the 2 seed on wild card, but like a dignified loss, like 31-14. But it was 22-14, like late in the midway through the fourth quarter.
There's nothing dignified about what's happening with the Raiders.
It's hard to watch.
I feel like they should just pull the plug.
They should.
Like, what? Pete Carroll's not going to be back next year. Just get him out.
I have a hot take, Denny. Like, Mark Davis has not experienced a lot of winning. I feel like amongst the bad owners, though, like his heart is the most in the right place, and his nothing works. Like, nothing he does works somehow. Like, and he's patient.
Well,
like,
I mean,
clearly he's doing a lot of things wrong. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't think he's patient. I think he's constantly looking for a shortcut.
He is always looking for a shortcut, but like, John Gruden, whatever. Like, that was a retread that was interesting. Not everyone disapproved. Josh McDaniels was like the hot candidate as always, and Antonio Pierce, the classic. Everyone was telling him he had to keep Antonio Pierce. Turns out he very much did not have to hand it.
They did beat the Chiefs once.
They did. They did.
I mean,
The Chiefs didn't show up on Christmas.
I know. The Chiefs didn't wake up for that game.
I mean, whatever. Like, Mahomes just didn't come to the game. The broadcast never mentioned it because they didn't want to embarrass the Chiefs.
That was the game afterwards. You were like, the Chiefs will easily win the Super Bowl. And I remember being like enraged, being like, no, they're done. They're finished. They just lost to the Raiders.
It's just so clear they just didn't care about the game at all. Real quick, you mentioned, quote, my guy Troy Aikman, Monday Night Football commentator. I do love Troy is about to be driven to the point of insanity when they bring up the ESPN analytics thing.
I know,
and it's never not glowing green and saying go.
I know. Just for Troy, I need that thing to light up red one time.
They do need to show it one because clearly the directive is in the production truck. Only show it when it says go.
Yeah,
they don't show it when it says not. For Troy's sake, you need to put it up there where it says
because he would be like, "Oh yes, we get a punt." Finally,
he would talk about it the rest of the game.
My guy hates going for it on 4th down. Wow,
the glowing green is triggering him. It's triggering fantasy managers, Denny. The Brock Bowers went nuclear 2 weeks ago, then did nothing last week. It was better on Monday night. 7 catches, 70 yards. Can he be considered the clear-cut tight end 1 overall with how the sorry state of this Raiders offense and Trey McBride going goblin mode, Denny?
You took my goblin mode. I actually have that later in my show in my notes. But here's the short of it. Jacoby Brissett makes it so that this is not close. It's McBride over Bowers. Since Jacoby took over, I call him Jacoby because he's my buddy, took over the Arizona offense, McBride is 4th among all pass catchers in targets. I will say Brock Bowers' metrics, like his peripherals, are still crazy, really good. But like Jeanty, it's hard to survive and get there week after week in such a negative, horrible, inefficient offensive environment. So, the Cardinals are not great, but they're a lot better than the Raiders. Jacoby Brissett is a lot better than Geno Smith.
He is. It's great. Geno, I don't know how he had those few solid seasons, but every flaw that he had early, he's playing just exactly like he did with the Jets, where just so many hits. Like when it's time to make like a big decision, quote unquote, he just never making the right decision this year.
he tricked the spreadsheet so hard.
He did
in Seattle. I mean, you got to hand it to him.
You do have to hand it to him. Bowers, by the way, I know it's Monday night, which you were talking about a week or two ago, where like he doesn't just look like he wants to win. He looks like he wants to like embarrass the opposition.
I'm telling you.
And so now he's embarrassed about how this is going. He is playing like a man on fire. Absolutely right. Pete Carroll thinks Tyler Lockett's man on fire.
That's another band member. They got they're getting the band back together in the worst possible way. Who else is going to join these guys? Like, is Richard Sherman going to come out of the announcer's booth and join these teams?
If Pete somehow maintains for 2026, they're acquiring Zach Charbonnet. You heard that here first.
Oh my gosh, they are.
They'll swear it's just for Jeanty insurance. And then he's going to become like a 1B back next year.
Obviously, that's not the case.
But Tyler Lockett seems to be ruining the Trey Tucker thing, though. Or is he? What's going on?
I don't know. I mean, Lockett was the clear wide receiver one in week 10, but then in week 11, things changed. Trey Tucker ran 94% of the routes on Monday night against the Cowboys. Lockett was at 45% of the routes, so that's a huge gulf there. Tucker saw 34% of the air yards, led the team, 8 targets, only 3 targets for Lockett. So, I think they came to grips with the fact that Tyler Lockett can't be a wide receiver one, and they treated Trey Tucker as a wide receiver one, who he, by the way, also not a wide receiver one.
He's not, but
I mean, the worst wide receiver group in the league, maybe.
Nah, Titans still worse, I would say.
Titans are way better. Well, I mean, way worse. Sorry.
Yeah, way worse. Even with Ridley, they're maybe worse.
Yeah, especially with Ridley.
True.
So I guess Tucker is just like going to be a high variance air yards eater for the rest of the season. You're hoping he comes down with a couple.
So when in doubt, tie break against Trey Tucker. When in doubt, take a short break and return right after this. This Sunday night, 2 high-powered offenses clash in Southern California when Baker Mayfield and the Bucs face off with Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Football night in America leads you up to kickoff of this NFC battle at 7 p.m. Eastern. NFC playoff seeding could be at stake in that game. Would more so if the Rams had not beaten the Seahawks. That Rams-Seahawks game, that was probably one of the biggest swings you'll see in like playoff odds, division title odds. Still stunning that Darnold threw those 4 picks and they still somehow almost won. Looking forward.
Yeah.
The NFC NFC West plays out. The NFC North, Denny, is where the Green Bay Packers reside.
Yes.
They make me very mad, very angry every week. I dislike watching them. Much like the Eagles, kind of like this. I think a lot of our frustration with the Packers is like, this should be more fun to watch. And yet it's not. And it never is. And now, though, part of that is because of their undying, unyielding devotion to Josh Jacobs. Like, it doesn't matter what down it is, what game situation is, Josh Jacobs down there somewhere. A lot of times down there somewhere, it's like taking a handoff into his belly for 3.1 yards. And but he's hurt now, so that doesn't look like it's going to hold for week 12. He has not been ruled out yet with his knee injury, but it is not looking good. It is looking like Emmanuel Wilson season. Is it a plug-and-play situation? Chris Brooks is the only other running back who's gotten any work. Looks like it'll probably be a 1-for-1 for Emmanuel Wilson sliding in for Josh Jacobs. Do you think that's the case, or do you have a counter take?
No, that's it. I mean, Emmanuel Wilson, pretty good, 4.7 yards per carry over his career, like in spot duty and I guess some garbage time when the Packers are up. But Wilson had 11 of the team's 12 running back rushes after Josh Jacobs left the game last week against the Giants. Wilson is 24th among all running backs in rushing success rate this season. Not great, but he's okay. I really do think, like, if he's on your waiver wire and you're down pretty bad at running back, you go ahead and you get him and you start him this week. If Josh Jacobs is out, so you plug and play, and there should be some touchdown equity too, because the Packers are really run heavy inside the 10-yard line.
Denny, who are the Packers playing? Did you say this?
They're playing the Vikings.
Oh yeah, the Minnesota Vikings. So Kyle and I talked about this a bit on the waiver show. This could be the last time you have someone really worth investing in, in terms of like a replacement running back on the waiver wire. So if you've been saving your fab, even if it's for only 1 week, that can sometimes make the difference. I would say Emmanuel Wilson is worth the outlay. And yeah, I would really agree going to get Emmanuel Wilson. I guess too, if you don't have the fab, you get like the option B, Chris Brooks is worth throwing at the end of your bench. He will not be worth putting into your second flex spot this week.
Marshawn Lloyd was seen practicing like 2 weeks ago, sort of off to the side.
He's always like Bigfoot practicing. There's been a Marshawn Lloyd spotting in the Adirondack Mountains.
We got a pixelated picture. I had my interns run it through the machine, and they said it does appear to be Marshawn Lloyd.
It's funny that we got a genuine pixelated Bigfoot photo of Bucky Irving. It felt very apt. I'll say.
So funny. I know.
After everyone saying for weeks, "Where's Bucky?"
No one's seen him. No one's heard from him.
I know.
The coaches haven't said one thing about his availability except for that he's out. Well, I mean,
I know. And then the next day they have Bucks reporters, not even a joke, using binoculars to take a picture through their phone of Bucky Irving. We did appreciate it.
It was great work.
We would really, really appreciate Bucky coming back for week 12. We're talking really. We're talking like we've never needed anything worse.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it.
We're talking about just not getting embarrassed at this point. Don't even. I'm out of the playoffs.
Oh, but you know what though? Yeah, don't get us wrong.
It's not gonna save my season, but
you know what though? No. Actually, it's gonna be terrible because Sean Tucker goes off.
I know
they can't put that genie back in the bottle. Although they did put it back in the bottle last year.
They'll use
every time Sean Tucker sees action, he's instantly the best running back in the NFL. And then they're just like, whatever.
He's no Rico Dowdle. I actually agree. Put the Sean Tucker genie instantly back in the bottle.
If it's not though, we're in trouble.
Sure. Speaking of genies, the Falcons are wishing they had one to prevent everyone from getting hurt. If they had one wish, it'd be for their quarterback and their wide receiver one to actually be playing football. Michael Penix Jr. entered the league with one of the more concerning injury histories you'll ever see. Constantly hurt in college until his final 2 years, where he stayed healthy, turned himself into a blue chip prospect. We had 2 torn ACLs, like a multitude of quote unquote knee woes. They're back. He's on injured reserve. He's out at least 4 games. Enter El Kirko, Captain Kirk, maybe the worst player in football this year. Cousins, Denny, will play this weekend. He will be doing so without Drake London. I've seen people speculating on social media. I think I have actually made a variation of this joke, is that the Falcons do not allow Drake London to play when Kirk Cousins is quarterback. It's like some sort of punishment for Kirk. Maybe they're protecting Drake London. Like, listen, dude, he's just going to hospital ball.
Well, right. I was going to say the hospital balls are an issue.
I think I tweeted the last time Penix missed a game, though. They declared London out that morning, and I said it was punishment to Kirk for starting. They're so mad that Kirk had to start a game. But Kirk is in. London is out. Is the run game in for a game against the New Orleans Saints, Denny? Because Kirk can't do anything this year, and he does not have his number one receiver. What are you expecting to see in Atlanta?
Saints opponents this year are passing the ball at a 53% clip in neutral script. They are a run funnel. So not an extreme run funnel, but definitely a run funnel. If the Falcons, if this game is close, and look, the Saints are back. They're all the way back. Okay. Tyler Shuck's carving up defenses. Defense is playing a little better. So I'm actually not dismissing the idea of like a Saints route here against Kirk Cousins and company. So they might not actually be able to be run heavy, but if they are, you are talking about crazy run volume for Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. I think, assuming decent game script, I think Algier sees 10 touches here. I think Bijan is locked in for 25 touches, 20 plus. Yeah. We saw Robinson get involved inside the 10-yard line for the first time in his NFL career last week, so that's good. And so that means very little pass volume for Pitts and Mooney. Mooney's running 95% of the routes over the past couple of weeks. So he's out there. He's getting a lot of great exercise. He might actually get some targets this week.
Wow. And so this game is in New Orleans. The Saints actually are favored, which is a big concern, only by 1.5. So even less than like the standard quote unquote home field advantage or whatever. But I mean, El Kirko has been so unbelievably bad this year that
it's not good.
I could see like a Tyler Shuck. This could be like the classic red herring game, or like the third quarter. Like Jonathan Vilma's like, I think the Saints have found their quarterback of the future.
For sure.
Guy that I'm broadcasting with, Kenny Albert. Kenny Shuck's been here 10 years. He's the new Breeze.
Yeah,
and, he's benched before the year is over.
No, of course.
But just because they're playing the Kirk Cousins Falcons.
And that, man, this Falcons team allowed Bryce Young to throw for 448 yards. I actually still can't like get my mind around that.
I can't either. The Falcons entered week 11 allowing the fewest passing yards in the league. Not a joke.
So I watched the truncated version, like the 30-minute version of that Falcons Panthers game the other day while I was on my exercise bike. And I work out. And Bryce played not well and went and threw for 448. And I remember your commentary in Slack during the game, you're like, oh no, it's over for Bryce. It's over for Bryce. And then I would check the box score and I'd be like, what?
No, that wasn't me. It was Kyle watching the game. He was saying over because he couldn't walk because his ankles hurt.
Okay. I was misunderstanding that. Then.
Yeah. Kyle was saying it was giga over because it looked like he couldn't walk.
Oh,
then,
yeah, no, that's
kept coming back and ripping 20-yard completions.
Okay, but he really. So the Falcons. The Falcons are. I mean, they're in just cruise control mode to the end of the season, right? Well, simulate to end situation.
Yeah, Raheem Morris thing's over. I mean, come on,
gotta be.
Yeah, come on.
These guys have no desire. This Falcons team has no desire on that game-winning score for the Panthers. Falcons defenders were just walking around. Like they were just like, yeah, whatever. Like
it's called Bengals mode.
Can we just go home, please?
I know they are a strange brew. I don't know what's going on with this Falcons team this year. Just no identity. Penix isn't ready or something. I don't know what the deal is.
He's not. No, I don't think he's the guy.
He's not the guy. He looks like he looks like a probably good NFL backup. He looks like he should have maybe been a Jacoby Brissett style prospect.
There you go.
Come into the league as a second or third rounder.
Yeah.
Develop for a while. Turn into a premium backup. Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew.
That's actually not a bad. Yeah, that's not a bad comp. Because originally, I'm old enough to remember when Michael Penix was supposed to be a second or third rounder.
Yes, and before he was stunningly drafted number 8 overall. Yeah, the Falcons. I had a final thought. It's probably gonna be dumping on Kirk Cousins again. I don't remember what it was. So I guess we'll move on to New York City. Yet another explosive quarterback situation. Justin Fields, pretty much every other play, you'd go, well, it's over, got to bench him. Then the next play, you wouldn't necessarily say he's back. All right, okay, never mind, bench him again. And he's finally been benched. Tyrod Taylor taking the reins under center for the New York Jets this week against a football team that plays in the NFL. They're playing one of 32 NFL teams this weekend, Denny. Hopefully you can remember who it is and what are the effects of Tyrod Taylor moving under center for the New York Jets.
I'm playing the Ravens, so easy matchup. Right.
In Baltimore.
Yeah, in Baltimore. Good luck to my Jets.
Jets fans, they hear that. If a Jets fan heard you say that at work, they would clear off their desk, get ready to post back at you. Oh, Denny Carter, a Jets fan. That's a good one. I've heard that one before.
You hated Zach Wilson.
Yeah, first ever media member to be a Jets fan. That would be rich.
No, it's me and Greeny, man.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Hashtag Greeny.
Anyway, it's good. This is good for the pass catchers in this offense because Justin Fields wasn't passing enough and
at all.
Yeah, right. So okay, just from a zoomed out viewpoint, you need some pass attempts, drop backs, and air yards. Team air. You need that stuff to happen before anybody can have a chance, right? And now with Tyrod Taylor, I think you do at least have some chance of getting that, injecting that into this Jets offense. And I take no pleasure in saying this, especially after Thursday night when he embarrassed himself in front of a nation.
He really did. Not even a joke. The person Denny's about to mention, it was an embarrassment.
It was a humiliating spectacle for A.D. Mitchell.
It was
against the Patriots. Humiliating. I guess I maybe have seen an athlete play worse in some sport ever, but I can't really think of it off the top of my head. The kid is a disaster. Anyway, he did see.
You got to start him.
You do. No, you don't have to. But he saw 55% of the team's air yards. That means something. That tells you about the team's intention with this guy. And he was targeted on 30% of his routes. That's pretty good. We can work with that. So if he can ever hold on to a ball, we might be cooking with Tyrod Taylor increasing pass volume here.
I do wonder if Justin Fields would have gotten benched if Adonai Mitchell could just catch one football.
I mean, look, Fields threw the prettiest pass of his life to AD Mitchell and he dropped it. That was devastating. I mean,
that was devastating.
I mean, Fields
kind of like you can't come back from that kind of.
Fields looks at that probably in like 5 years and is like, if he catches that, I'm still starting for a team right now. Like that was a beautiful throw.
It was,
and Mitchell just almost like volleyball spiked it to the ground.
By the way, so you see, I'm still alive in the Survivor contest. Have you seen this? I don't think we've talked about this
in the guillotine thing.
No, different. I'm alive. It's a long story. I'm alive in this big time Survivor contest. It's down to like 10 people.
Oh,
I've been retweeting their tweets about it. Everyone, I forgot you're not on the bird, as it's known. And I'm still alive in the Survivor contest. I thought about saving the Ravens for this week. I didn't. I used them against the Browns. It was a sweat.
Oof.
But then I'm almost wondering if there's no way the Jets win. The Ravens have been so unimpressive. The Jets, are they getting like a dead cat bounce with the quarterback change? I'm probably Galaxy Brain. I can't pick them anyway. I don't know why I'm even talking about this. But
no, the Ravens will win by 3 touchdowns. Come on.
And, the Ravens should have won, or they would have won by 3 touchdowns, Denny, if Shedeur Sanders had played the entire week in week 11. And he only played 1 quarter. And so he is the reason. This is a bit mean, but let me be clear. He is the reason the Browns lost the game. They were going to beat the Ravens if Dylan Gabriel had finished the game. But the Browns, looks like they're going to be without Gabriel. So first off, they said he wasn't going to play. And like a few hours later, like, oh, he might play. It seems like they do not want to face down their Shedeur fate. But they're going to. It's going to be Shedeur Sanders, we think, against the Las Vegas Raiders. It's a good matchup, at the very least, for the young man. All right, whatever. Shedeur, let's be real, played as poorly as anyone I've ever seen
ever
against the Ravens. We just did not belong on the field. Will he belong on the field against the Raiders, though?
No. And you have got to, if you're streaming defenses, you have got to pick up the Raiders. You have to do it. Max Crosby is going to have at least 6 sacks this week.
That seems like a classic best laid plan. Like it was foolproof. I swear to God, relying on the Raiders was foolproof.
Yeah, no, I mean, look. What happens in this matchup and this sort of thing where I'm like, oh, you got to get the Raiders, is that Geno turns it over 11 times and puts the Raiders defense in such horrible spots that they can't score. Okay, so you need game script on your side. That's not a guarantee with Geno Smith under center for the Raiders. Anyway, yeah, I mean, the Raiders are a good play. Look, if you look at like completion rate over expected, EPA per dropback, success rate, all this stuff for Shedeur Sanders, I know it was only 1 quarter, but it was the worst game ever. It was the worst game ever. Even worse than Justin Herbert's playoff loss last year. And that until this Shedeur game, that was the worst game a quarterback has ever played. So, I mean, per the stats, like that's not my opinion, like per numbers. So yeah, I mean, Shedeur is not. It's not gonna work. No, and he did mention, by the way, in his post game presser, he was like, "Look, this is the first time I've ever thrown a ball to Jerry."
Like, I actually do believe it, and this is
maybe
what
that makes a difference.
This is what the Shedeur hive mind has latched onto. Like, you don't understand. He's never had any reps with the 47th best receiver in the NFL, Jerry Jeudy, and that's what they're clinging to right now.
How can he possibly know where to throw the ball if he's never thrown to Jerry Jeudy?
I'm confronting 2 horrible facts, one of which is that I might have to take the Raiders in my Survivor. I don't think I can do that, but
I think it's a good call.
Might have to. By the way, and so I've labeled. I don't know. I've labeled like there's like this like a industrial complex around Shedeur Sanders, like online machine.
Yes, that plays defense for him all the time.
I've labeled it Shedeur Anon.
Yeah. I mean, they will actually like post like a low light and be like, "Look at this incredible drop back."
It's like Taylor Swift stan culture, kind of. Like, you don't get it. I know that the new album's terrible, but it's actually not. Like,
right.
You don't understand. I know she's let us all down, but it's actually good.
No, it's actually, we like being let down. I know you think she can't dance, but she can.
Okay, we're not getting into that one. We will get into the spitter in Cincinnati, Jamar Chase. He said he's not claiming he didn't spit. He's saying that like it wasn't intentional.
Yeah, so he's actually, this is not a bit, like he's actually appealing. He's appealing the ruling. He's saying that if I had meant to spit on Jalen Ramsey, I would have spit in his face, not on his jersey, because he spit on the jersey. You could see it, I mean, very clearly, right? And so that's the argument. Not a great argument, but we'll see if it works. I don't know.
We'll see if it works. We're gonna operate under the assumption it will not work, and then he's going to miss this game against the Patriots. Could be an explosive scoring environment. Would have been much more so with Jamar Chase. So what are the downstream effects for the Cincinnati Bengals if Jamar Chase does not play?
Yeah, I mean, when you remove Chase from this Bengals offense, you're removing 32% of the targets, almost 40% of the air yards. You know, that's just a huge gap to fill. So T. Higgins becomes a smash just based on volume. Andre Yoshivas, I've said his name. He becomes interesting just because, I mean, look, Joe Flacco is going to drop back like, I don't know. I mean, clearly 40 plus times here, right?
71 times.
Could be, like literally could be. Anyway, Chase Brown also could see a bump in targets. He ran 85% of the routes last week with Samaje Perine out. Perine's ankle injury is pretty severe apparently, so we might get another game like that. And then so Chase Brown could see like a little PPR bump. Yeah, those are the downstream effects. Maybe Noah Fant gets crazy and catches more than 2 passes.
That would be something. But the effect, by the way, you mentioned the Guillotine League. I have Jamar Chase in the Guillotine League and barely survived with him this week, but we're sure counting on that bounce back for week 12.
For the folks out there, I did not survive.
No, Denny did not. You made it longer than I expected after your $1,000 fab outlay on Saquon Barkley, who was, quote, never good for you.
Never good?
Never once good for your team.
He didn't give me one good game. Actually, he gave me one good game against the Giants.
He really did not. I looked – you made fun of yourself, so I don't mind putting you on blast for this. Looked at your lineup. Did think it was a bit shocking in a 6-team league that you were starting Jerry Jeudy. What happened there?
What happened there? I don't really know, except for
let's be real. You weren't really grinding the waivers. Let me be clear.
Listen, I wish I could say that, but I actually was taking that league really seriously. There was no the reason I took it seriously is because I had a garbage lineup and I got to week 11.
That's true.
You know, so I had Brian Thomas ready to go. I was ready to go with Brian Thomas. I was going to get those 35 yards. But no,
I have no room to talk because I almost got eliminated, and I'm the 20.
Not really. I was the worst by 30 points.
Yeah, your team did really collapse.
I mean, like George Pickens had the game of his life, and I didn't even come close.
I know.
I had him in my.
I felt it. So Danny and I were the bottom two. I knew it was over for you because anything Pickens could do, I was starting Dak Prescott. So it's like unless he gets like a 40-yard end-around touchdown.
I saw that. Yeah,
we're good. So yeah,
I threw my phone across the room when I saw that.
That was the death knell for you. Bills, Houston Texans. Thursday night. Bills 5.5-point favorites. Game total only 43.5. Davis Mills making his 3rd start for Houston. Davis Mills, of course, too. We'll get to this for Nick. We're talking about the Texans receivers in a minute, but not really the best sign for C.J. Stroud that it took Davis Mills to get Nico Collins cooking.
We're
not. Let's talk about that in a minute, I guess, though.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No. I'm sorry. We're going to talk about the Bills first. Yes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Bills first. I did not make that clear at all, but we're going to talk about the Bills first. By many measures, their offense broke out, quote unquote, in week 11, but it was also like a turnover plagued disaster. Mm-hmm. Like they were lucky to escape with the win. A lot of explosive plays. The explosive plays are back. Josh Allen was spreading it around all over with Keon Coleman serving a team-imposed suspension. Are they back? I used red herring earlier. Was it a red herring? Was it a mirage? What is going on with this Bills offense that has been, frankly, vexing me all season long, Denny?
It's been vexing for me as well. So the Bills on the season are 20th in pass rate over expected, so pretty run heavy. But week 11 saw their 2nd highest pass rate over expected of the season and their highest since week 2. It's like the first time they actually really committed to the pass. Now, they were playing the extreme pass funnel Tampa Bay Bucks defense. And I wrote that up in my matchup column on Friday. So I hope folks read it. Didn't mean much unless you started Tyrell Shavers, of course. But yeah, so they were pass heavy. Now, the thing is, Tampa is a huge pass funnel, but so is Houston. Houston is a pass funnel, so we could maybe see that again. I don't know if you remember, Pat, but we talked, you and me and Kyle talked on Thursday about Josh Allen's issue with sacks.
Yes.
Right. And like he was taking a high percentage of sacks on his pressures. Well, he seemed to have been aware of that. Josh Allen grinds the spreadsheets, obviously, because Josh Allen had 14 pressures against him against the Bucks, right? 0 sacks on 14 pressures. That's crazy. So
that is crazy.
He seems to maybe have been aware of that issue. And
one way he counteracted that was by throwing one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen as he was getting sacked.
I know the guy scores 50 fantasy points and has 2 horrible interceptions. Actually,
yeah, I would say in the red zone. I meant the Bucks red zone. It was the Bills were at their own 10 when
the
they
shovel.
Yes, so that's one way to counteract the sack is to throw the worst.
Right, but didn't get a sack. So what do you want?
That's true.
Also, I wanted to mention Allen had his highest average depth of target of the season, 11.3 against the Bucks.
Wow, he did that without Keon Coleman. He'll be back. Hopefully, message received. Not to be like an old man, but you get the opportunity to play with Josh Allen, and then you get suspended for the second time for like missing like a meeting or something. Kind of a crazy approach to an NFL career. In my opinion,
the worst part for him is that the offense was way better without him.
So that is the deal. It was way better. He spread it around, hitting big plays like Tyrell Shavers, things of that nature. Denny, he was just playing pitch and catch with whoever was open. They did not include Josh Palmer. He caught only 1 ball in his return. Any takeaway? 1 game sample size. It was without Keon Coleman, but any takeaways from the Bills' pass catcher usage? Dalton Kincaid was also out for the game. We don't know his Week 12 stats. Probably out, considering it's a short week.
Yeah, that's significant for the rest of these guys. Yeah, so can I talk about the Bills receivers real quick?
That's right.
Okay. So Josh Palmer was back. He ran 47% of the routes, 5 targets, only saw 9% of the air yards. Tyrell Shavers, meanwhile, he operated as the primary deep threat. He led the team with a 28% air yard share. He was targeted on 42% of his routes, which is a crazy rate. He ended up with 90 yards and a touchdown. I guess if Coleman's out, Shavers becomes like
Coleman will be back. He'll be active, I think.
Okay.
He might.
Well, then I mean, I guess then Coleman will start. Shavers is better, so I don't know what they're.
He might not start. He'll be on the 46-man game day roster, but I don't know. He wasn't playing well even before he was suspended, of course. Because like if he had been playing well, he would have gotten the George Pickens treatment. You missed the first series.
And Lamb, don't leave Lamb out of this.
I know, it's true. Yeah, that's true. Both of them. Lamb. Is it leaked what they did yet, by the way?
No. In fact, Schottenheimer at halftime was like, I love those guys. I love them so much. I had to suspend them for a season.
It must have been then, not good, but it must have been a classic, like, lovable mistake. Like, didn't go to sleep in Las Vegas, Nevada. That kind of thing.
Yeah, they were in Vegas.
They were in Vegas for a long weekend. I mean, clearly something happened in Vegas that is now staying in Vegas.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. I think you instantly uncovered it.
Yeah. Anyways, so that was the Bills. So, yeah, Houston Texans, also a team that plays football. Davis Mills is their quarterback, Denny. How's he been playing? What kind of matchup is this against the Bills?
It's a decent matchup. I mean, the Bills are a run funnel. They had been okay against the run for a few weeks, but they're back up to giving up the 5th most yards before contact per rush. That's not good. No one has missed more tackles per carry than the Bills this season, not even the Giants, who are really, really awful at tackling. Wow. And you saw that last week with Sean Tucker?
Our guy, Eric Smolsky, was posting about every 2 seconds in the Slack.
I know. I remember Eric saying that, and then I looked at the numbers, and I was like, wow, Eric knew. These guys missed a lot of dang tackles. You make Sean Tucker look like Herschel Walker.
You make him look like Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, I mean, how can you look like Dowdle? How can you look that good? So yeah, I guess Woody Mark season, but also Davis Mills, like you mentioned, unfortunately for CJ Stroud, Davis Mills has unlocked the Texans offense.
He really has. It's not good.
Here's some disgusting stats if you're, I guess, a Stroud fan. But the Texans have the 5th most passing yards over the past 2 weeks with Davis Mills under center. The Texans lead the league by a wide margin in total team air yards over those 2 games. And like I said earlier, like that's significant for the pass catchers, especially a guy like Nico Collins. Like you have to have that before you actually have the production, right? And then Houston is the 6th pass heaviest team in the league in the Mills starts. So Davis Mills got under center, and the Texans were like, now we're going to cook.
Man, that is bleak. It includes Jaden Higgins has finally been doing something. Anybody worth mentioning behind Nico Collins, I guess behind Dalton Schultz. They're at least playing the rookies now. Are they playing enough to even be worth a look in wide receiver 4 spot, though, Denny?
Higgins, maybe. Jalen Knoll is still very limited route participation. I mean, he's being targeted at a high rate, but it's all underneath stuff. So you would need something. I mean, you need a touchdown basically from Knoll to make it count. Maybe Dalton Schultz being out might open up some opportunity for a guy like Knoll. But really, it's Nico or bust as far as like reliable fantasy options in this offense. And I really do. I mean, teams really lean heavily toward the run against Buffalo. I think you'll see that here.
I don't think Schultz is out, by the way.
I'm sorry. Did I misspeak? Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I think maybe Schultz is playing in this game, so that's good news for both of us. I don't know. Actually, I don't have him in any leagues. Indifferent news for me.
I wouldn't dream of rostering that guy.
But I do have Woody Marks. The Bills defense, like you said, cannot stop the run. Final item for today: Woody versus Nick Chubb. What kind of great matchup? What do we expect in fantasy?
Woody Marks 32 carries over the past 2 games. Nick Chubb 8 carries over the past 2 games. Success rate, Woody Marks has 53% success rate, which is top 10 over those 2 games. He's not missing he's not making guys miss at all, which is a little weird for a guy of his profile. But he's also being targeted on 22% of his routes, which is solid. I know last week wasn't fantastic if I remember correctly, but you're starting him here. I mean, the matchup hardly gets better than against the Bills if you're a running back. The only rushing attack that the Bills stopped this season really is the Chiefs, and I think that's because the Chiefs don't have any good running backs.
That would be the case. You could argue the Texans don't either, but I still believe in Mr. Marks.
Marks is
even right. Nick Chubb, I think, could be a rare good spot for Nick Chubb in this game. So really good podcast from Denny Carter. Hopefully from myself, Patrick Daugherty. We're going to have the regression files up either way. I always forget, is it later Tuesday or is it Wednesday, Denny?
Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning, the regression files, rankings. Thursday morning, Kyle's waiver wire's out. If you still have waiver decisions to make. And, of course, Kyle, Denny, and I will break down the entire Week 12 slate, not just Thursday night football when we reconvene on Thursday. So for Denny, I'm Pat. Thank you so much for listening. We will talk to you really soon.